as the Yankees lose both to the Astros. And I know I'm kind of changing my tune on this because I said and I still believe that it really does come down to the postseason with these two teams, of course. But, I mean, this is alarming. It's just alarming. And what's alarming about it is the offense. Again. Now, you look at the final score of the second game, you say 7-5.
Misleading.
But it's misleading. Yeah, Judge hits that home run in the ninth. You know, it's a bomb. It's great. He does that, adds to his total in his MVP season. But, I mean, essentially, you're losing that game 7-2. And the first game, you understand that the offense wasn't there either, and that was a really frustrating way to lose that first game. But it's the same old story. So if this at least gives you a peek into what these two teams are and still remain to be, you can't tell me that this isn't alarming. And I know Aaron Boone said some stuff after the game where he basically was like, listen, the narrative, like we're saying today, is not going to change unless we beat them in the postseason. We do get it, and we'll show up here, and we're going to compete when that happens. But, I mean, they can't be happy walking out of Houston getting handed to them again in back-to-back games?
No, of course not. And, Javier and Garcia and fine pitchers, but this was not – these weren't lockdown Cy Young Award winners that they faced. You sit there and talk about the hitting and the offense. This offense is fantastic. We've seen it all year long. And for them to go in and lay an egg, and I got to the first game late, so I'm not exactly sure why, and if they mentioned it, my apologies, why Stanton's not at least DHing in the first game. I don't understand. And you can't tell me it's because it's a doubleheader. That's nonsense. You can DH one and play the field in the other.
Well, they're probably, he played the All-Star game and yada, yada. And I know Judge was the DH in the first game, and that's what they're going to tell you.
And in the second game, when you've got, and I know he hit the home run, you even pointed out in the last inning, fine. When you get 6 strikeouts and 8 at-bats from those two, you got problems. And, Matt Carpenter had a couple of opportunities. He lines into the double play in the one spot.
Grounded out at the end of his bat. It was a double play to end the game.
And how about the way, Houston starts the first? I mean, they do the little things. Altuve, I don't think, opening up that first game. And by the way, we really nailed the starting pitchers yesterday, did we not? Holy crap, we got them both wrong.
I will say, though, that
no one's fault.
I started feeling like that was going to happen midway through the show.
What happened to Jameson Taillon?
I don't know. And I told Peter, I said, you better be careful and just blame this on CBSSports.com. Just at least say that, because then everybody's going to think that you're the one that's reporting this.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Like Domingo Germán, where'd he come from?
I don't know. Once did we say his name?
Now, Lepresti did text me yesterday, right around the end of the show, said J.P. Sears will be up and activated, so I don't know if he's starting. Not sure. Nate came into the second game. But, yeah, whatever. It was kind of funny. But you even look at Altuve's at-bat to start the first game, and I will confuse the two games, by the way, at some point this morning. He wasn't up there trying to bunt. I mean, it was a 1-1 count. It looked like he was swinging away at first, and then you realize first baseman's back. It's wide open. Great push bunt. And then even, who was the second bunt? I forget. I'm forgetting. Whoever it was. Was it Jeremy Pena?
Just Google it.
Whatever. Even that one, you got Donaldson playing all the way back, and he just drops down the bunt. It was beautiful. I mean, it's the little things that they do. And then even something as simple as the ground ball that gets by, again, I'm going to confuse the two. I think it was Marwin Gonzalez playing shortstop in the first game.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just like all of a sudden you look up and it's 1-0. And
it was Pena, by the way.
It was just one of those tough days where nothing seemed to go right for them. And then I am in no way, shape, or form saying that they would have gotten the out. I'm not saying this because the runner probably would have beat him anyway. But where is Gleyber Torres in the ninth inning?
Yeah. All right. So he's shifted. Is basically he was
shifted where though?
But
he was playing second base.
But he was. What I don't understand is, all right, I know where he was playing, and he was shifted over into closer to first base.
I get that.
Playing deeper. That I understand.
Ball's hit to the left side. Go to second base.
Right. That's what I don't get. And
he was running the other way.
He was running the other way to go get the baseball that Falefa threw at an empty second base.
And he was
just
weird.
like standing there. I mean, does he think he's just not going to get there?
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't see an angle where I saw where the runner was in relation to Gleyber Torres, but you would think that you would at least have a foot race to the bag to give yourself a shot, because that's the game-winning run.
Or he'd be in the camera shot.
Yeah, I know.
He's nowhere near. Somewhere in the screen.
Right, and it's Yordan Alvarez, who is an athlete, and the guy's a monster, but you would think that Gleyber Torres could at least be right there with him in a foot race
and
to
I'm not
second
saying
base.
they were going to get him because they probably wouldn't have because the ball was hit so far in the hole, but I don't know.
Little effort?
Run there, maybe?
Yeah, just give it a shot, maybe?
We've seen it 3 times now. Every time he's not even within 20 feet of the bat. It's just weird.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought there was a lot of misplaced anger yesterday from Yankee fans I at least saw on Twitter complaining about the shift. It was all, how could you shift in this situation? The stupid shift, stupid analytics. I mean, nobody complains about the shift when someone hits right into it.
Right.
You know, when the shortstop's standing right behind second base and someone hits a ground ball there and it ends up being an out as opposed to a single into center. Nobody complains about analytics then. To me, it was just the bigger, the ball was hit in an unfortunate situation and Gleyber Torres never even gave himself a shot to get to second base. That was the bigger issue than the shift.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And you talk about the shift, and not this was a shift, but even in the first game, after the 2 bunt singles, you get the ground ball that turns out to be an RBI single. I would think you're pinching for a double play, and Gonzalez is really playing the hole more so. And I'm sure the analytics say that, with the whatever. That was a tailor-made double play ball that would have been easy and routine, but those were the breaks yesterday. They did not go the Yankees' way. And I'm not going to get nuts because we sat here 24 hours ago and said, whatever happens today, it doesn't matter. What's going to matter is October. And now I know the Astros have the season series. I get it. So the Yankees are going to have to finish ahead of them in the standings to have home field advantage. And they were talking during the broadcast. Oh, it was Cameron. I think it was Cameron Maybin that was talking about how Houston feels like they can. It doesn't matter if they got to go to Yankee Stadium. They feel like and I get that. I do think it will impact them a little bit. I really do. So I think home field advantage, while I usually don't think much of it in baseball, the same way I don't think much of home ice advantage in hockey because of the pitchers and the catchers, I think in this case it does matter because of the environment that they will walk into if, in fact, the Yankees have the home field come October and they're playing them in the ALCS like I expect them to. That's when it matters. That's when everything is going to be on the line, and they have got to flip the switch in the script because same old, same old.
Yeah, they feel like a different offensive team in that building for whatever reason, and they shouldn't be. That is an offensive park. Roof open, roof closed, whatever it is, it's an offensive park. They should be able to dominate the way they do at home and in other ballparks there, but they can't do it. And it's been the Astros pitching and defense that has shut them down every single year, it feels like, in that building since 2017. And it just continues to happen. So the Yankees could have the greatest regular season they've had since 1998. If they end up in that building in the ALCS, you just don't feel good about them hitting. And there's no other evidence to the contrary. There's nothing that you can point to and say, hey, remember when they did this against the Astros? Remember when they did that against the Astros?
Yeah.
Every reference point is them getting suffocated by this team, especially on the road.
Well, and I'll say, like I said earlier, too, like the Astros, they hit some home runs for sure, and they were discussing the Astros and where they are statistically across Major League Baseball. They are a home run hitting team that they don't hit for great average. They're not a team that kind of moves guys around the bases. Yesterday was one of those games, at least in a couple of different spots, where, again, their ground ball found a hole. The ground ball that was not quite over the bag, but just out of Donaldson's reach, goes for a double instead of maybe you get up and you get the force out at third. Meantime, the Yankees, and while it wasn't a bullet, Carpenter hits the line drive right at the first baseman, easy double play. You go from what could have been a monster inning to all of a sudden a whole hell of a lot of nothing. And it just seemed like everything they did, didn't work. And the Astros had an answer for it. It's a funny game. And yesterday was one of those. And keep in mind, too, you saw Montgomery, another no decision, shocking. And you saw Domingo Germán. This wasn't Cortez. This wasn't Garrett Cole. Kind of is what it is. Tough day. There's nothing else to say. It was a tough day. And this Alvarez guy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Tremendous.
And he was out for a little bit and came back and was and Aaron Boone obviously walked him. I don't know why they sent him up there to pinch hit
with the
first
bases open.
First base open. It made no sense to me. That was just a total no-brainer for me for Aaron Boone to walk him. And he's just the guy's a monster. He's a total monster. And they've lost guys. We talked about this when Boomer was here earlier in the week. It really is amazing. Losing Cole, losing Springer, losing Correa.
Yeah.
And they just reload, and they're right back there. They're only a few games behind the Yankees as far as the best.
61 wins now, right?
Yes.
60 or 61?
61. I think it's 61 wins.
Yeah.
I think they're 2 or 3 behind in the loss column. to the Yankees, and it's only like 1 in the win column for whatever reason. But they just reload. They're just fantastic, annoyingly fantastic, and they're there every year. And I don't want to hear anything else about. Yeah, I know they won the World Series in 2017, but like enough of all of that now too.
Oh, agreed.
I mean, enough that they've
5 years ago. Get over it.
They've proven themselves enough.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll always come back to, and this is the recurring theme. Say whatever you want about all that nonsense from 2017. The Yankees didn't win that series because they didn't score runs. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to win when you score none or 1 run. I mean, it's the way it is. They lost because the Astros pitched better.
Yep. And it changed the managers, and now Dusty is in there. Does Dusty still wear it looks like he was wearing rubber gloves yesterday.
And even at the All-Star game, he had them on.
Yeah, he's got the rubber gloves on.
Yeah, I'm sure that's some sort of a medical condition. I'm not exactly.
Is it a medical condition or is it COVID?
It could be.
COVID
he's 73, so that could be it.
Yeah.
Certainly possible.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just thought.
But he had them on in L.A. when it was 75 degrees and sunny. Yes.
Yeah. There was an engineer here once that had a glove that he'd cover a bloody hand with.
Who?
I'm not going to say his name. It was many years ago, and he had something going on with his hand, and he put like a clear plastic glove over this bloody hand, and I'm serious, and I remember he came in to fix something. We had the media touch at the time, so it was the boards that you would touch, similar to what's here, but a different program. And there was something going on with the media touch, and he came in to try to fix it, and instead of using the hand that was the normal hand, he was trying to fix it with the bloody glove hand. And I remember saying to him, I said, you got a functional hand. What are we doing with the bloody glove hand here? No, it was not the name that you just said. No, it was not. It was not him. He had other weird things, but yeah. So every time I see glove on a hand, I'm thinking, what's going on under there?
I think Michael Jackson.
You think of Michael Jackson with the glove on
every time I see it?
Yeah, the one glove, the one sparkling glove.
Yeah.
That's what Dusty Baker should do. Instead of that medical black rubber glove, he should put on a sparkly one glove. That would be awesome.
Which would be stylish.
That would be really stylish.
You think if I put, why does Dusty Baker wear, it comes right up. Why does Dusty Baker wear gloves? There you go. Simple reason why. Let's see. Carries is a Baker.
He does the dishes after the game.
He does not do the dishes. No,
the dishpan hands.
Precaution for COVID-19.
Okay, so it's COVID. But no mask, though, which is interesting. Usually the mask, if you're wearing gloves, you go with the mask.
So he had cancer 20 years ago and had a stroke 7 years ago.
So he wants to make sure
he's taking precaution.
The no germs.
Right.
I do like Dusty Baker.
How could you not?
I mean,
and he's never won a World Series as a manager, right?
No. I do. The Astros are annoying. Their fan base is annoying. The players are annoying. The way that they sort of responded to all the boos and got super cocky and everything. I guess, I would too if I were them. You got to fight back. But Dusty Baker's a guy that how do you not
root
like
for
him?
I totally understand.
If they end up winning a World Series,
you feel good for Dusty.
You at least feel good for Dusty, don't you?
It's amazing how good the Astros have been.
I know. I mean, and it's all basically, it's not like they went out and signed big-time free agents. I mean, I know Verlander was somewhere else. I know Cole was somewhere else, and those two guys were a big part of what they did. But there's so many guys that they were the homegrown players that they just brought up.
Altuve and Bregman's still there.
Yeah, and development. Jordan Alvarez is another one. Now,
absolutely.
Who's another superstar. There.
You know where they got, I shouldn't say got lucky, because they've taken a pounding, clearly. And lucky is not the right word with what happened in the world. But in terms of what they dealt with or had to deal with, and when everything came out, they ended up having that short season with no fans.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.